left off on page Yud Gimel in the Maharal. We're holding over the first Perek Vav, first column, the last third of the column. Ukvi far biarnu dover zal pia medrash amru. Shlosha mechulon lehem avnusayim. 3 people, their sins are forgiven. Very famous Gemara. Yushalmi and Bikurim. Even though it's brought from, it's also from the Pinchas Rebbe Lezer, but he brings it from Yushalmi and Bikurim. Shlosha mechulon lehem avnusayim. Hanosi isho. That's what we say vidoy before we get married, right? Right before you go to the chuppah, in mincha, before you say vidoy. Hanosi isho, v'nosi, a person who's promoted to be a king, a nosi, v'gershin is gayer. A non-Jew converts to be a Jew, all his sins are forgiven. It's such a change to such a special status. Chol elum nation. He's saying before, it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu's posek gudul al Adam. It's not something, when a person is appointed to a position of greatness, it's not he's who he does and he happens to be doing something. That's an indication there's something innate within the person. That's the point he made. When a person becomes a nasi, when a non-Jew converts, right? A convert converts, it's a different human being. It's not, even though the physicality is the same person, but in terms of the dimension of person, it's a different person. The Gamri. Right? Now, Odom. Until the person gets married, he's not called a Shalim. Right? A person who doesn't have legs. Right? And now somehow he has legs. He can walk. So what is he? Well, let's say he's a paraplegic. He doesn't have arms, doesn't have legs, and somehow he's restored. What is he? He's a different entity of a human being in terms of function. It's a different being. A person before he's married, after he's married, it's a different being. Right? It says, I always say, you use it at Sheva Brachos Torah. You know, you have a bar mitzvah coming up, mitzvah Hashem in the future. It says, Absheboro sosum v'simcho, chosun v'kalo. What's the difference between Yitzir and Brio? Right? Yitzir is formation. Brio means, creation means it didn't exist until the moment it was created. Ex nihilo, right? So as a result of that, Asher Boro Choson V'Kala, when he created Choson V'Kala. You have 2 individuals, Ruvain and Rachel. They were before Ruvain and Rachel. They're Ruvain and Rachel today. They happen to get married. So what do you mean he created Choson V'Kala? It's a different creation. Chosn's only after they're married. The person with the chosn, she's the kala. Right? So therefore, it's a different reality. They're different people. Right? It's the sum total is greater than its parts. Before you were this and that, now it's a different entity. It's like basa b'cholov. Right? Kosher milk comes basa b'cholov. It's a different entity. But that's in the negative. This is the different entity in the positive. He says, She'omru zal, kol odom she'en lo isha eino odom. He's not an odom. So when do you assume the status of Odom? It's a different classification. There's one opinion in Shulchan Aruch that a Kohen who's not married, the Ramah says, is not qualified to duchen. Because since he says ba'avo, with love, because the person is lacking in his shleimus of Odom, he's not qualified to duchen. No, we don't rule this way. But there is such an opinion. The Ramon, Hilchis knows, and says Kapayim cites such an opinion. No. Even about anybody, if you're not married. Not married. I'm not sure if a person was an alman, I'm not sure, but a person was never married. Never married. Even though he's young yet. He's not qualified to duchen. He's not, because he's not a sholim. He's not sholim yet. And you can't have avo, you can't say ba'avo, because he's not besimcha. You can only have love for another person if you have simcha. There's no simcha, you can't have avo. That's something else. That's because he prays differently. That's a different concept. Go ahead.
Nepach, I would say, if he's created, he's turned around.
No. Nepach is no.
Direction.
Nepach is more than turned around. Nepach, you converted.
Right.
You converted.
The wrong way. like
No, nepach means you changed over. It's a changeover.
Lahepach means the opposite.
No, that's no. This is a changeover. Nepach l'davar acher. L'odom mi'achish nepach l'odom mashloya nershav kodem l'kach shem yisborach mochel avonosav rishonim. You're a different person because there was such a transition to a different being. V'nosi ola l'gdula b'nei shkia nosi nas l'ishachel l'gamri kasher naseh nosi. You're a different dimension of person. V'teilo shekach hu ki hamelech nershav kecholom. Before you're an individual. When you become the king, you're the equivalent of the whole people. I always say, it's also Shevrachas Torah. Chosin domen lamelech. Now people make a mistake. When the chosin walks down the aisle, everybody stands up for him. You think it's, hail to the president over here, right? So chosin domen lamelech. A melech walks in, you don't stand up. Chosin domen lamelech. First, if you look at the source, it has no relevance. It's only in regard to, you sing his praises, this, that. And somebody, I asked many years ago, I asked Rabbi Yoshev, he says, no basis whatsoever to stand for a chosin. No basis, and definitely not a kala. And I asked Reb Chaim, Yiborim Mechaim L'Chaim, Reb Chaim Knevsky also. There's no source anywhere in Chazal that you stand for a chosin. I do it to Tifrish Minat Tzibur. That's how you stand. No. There isn't. It's ignorance. Years ago, I'm going back 35, 40 years ago, nobody stood for a chosin. Nobody. Unless they stood, if the chosin's father was Rav Moshe Feinstein, he walked his son down the aisle, you stood. You stood for a Moshe, not for the chosin. That's why you stood. Give me a break. Love. You walk down, you see a kosher hot dog stand. You stand up for the hot dog stand. You love hot dogs. Okay.
Well, Rabbi, but I know there's no reason to stand for the chassan, the kala, for the grandparents or the parents.
No, grandparents you stand because they're older people. That's seva tokum. Person's an elderly person. You're supposed to lift yourself to acknowledge his age. You do stand for an elderly person.
So, but if everybody's standing for...
No, everybody stands. It's not appropriate. It's, he's sitting. How does it look?
Right. Exactly.
So you stand for that reason.
Right.
That's why you stand. Right. But I'm saying just in reality, is there an obligation to stand? Right. Some say because chosin doma, that's where it comes from. It's a misunderstanding of chosin doma lamelech. Right? For a king, of course you stand for a king. He has a semblance of a king, but not in regard to this. So the way I explain it, it's exactly what the Maharal is saying. Before you're an individual, now you take on a whole different dimension of responsibility. Before a person is married, your responsibility is to yourself. You have to develop. You have to address your own potential. Once you get married, then you're assuming the responsibility for others. You become a member of the community. You're going to raise a family. So there's a different degree of responsibility. You're no longer seen as the individual. You already have relevance to klal. You become more of a klal person before you were an individual. Remember many years ago, Rav Aaron Zechat Tzadik V'Rocha, his grandson, today's grandson is in this, but then he wasn't even bar mitzvah. He came to yeshiva. He's in his early 60s. His name is Schwartzman, and the boy was 13, was a genius, and so the question is, should he give of his time to help other people? He was 13 years old, but he had a mind of a 25-year-old when he was 13, and he was a genius. So his grandfather says, "You're a child. You have to develop your own skills, your own potential. You get older, you'll affect other people. Right now, if you're not going to focus on your own development, you're not going to be able to develop properly. You get older, then you take on responsibility for others." That's what Rav Aaron told his grandson. Okay, so it's the same idea. Before you're married, you have to talk about personal development. Now that you take on a wife, you have responsibilities for another person, raise a family. Now you're part of a community. Now your level of responsibility is a different level of responsibility. Okay? When we say Henkri motivate, right? No, which means the status of the auto. Of course you're a human being, but in terms of the shleimus of the person. Alan walks in like, he wants to know why we're here so early. Oh, I see Starbucks. Okay, now you know where he was. He got spoiled. Goes, okay.